If we see the education arena, we can divide it into two phases, say uh, pre-ICT phase or post-ICT phase, in which we can make a demarcation that initially when the technology was used in education, the instruction was delivered mainly through verbal medium. The teacher used to uh, narrate or explain the things and students used to listen to that. But then technology was integrated into education. Say initially radio came, then television, then computers and internet, and after that the situation has really changed into it. So the technology has greatly impacted the way the instruction is delivered, and this has really impacted the way the material is also developed, means the content material which is developed for a particular program or course or for any object into it. And this becomes very important when according to the World Economic Forum, we are in the fourth industrial revolution now. So the kind of job roles and the kind of programs which we'll be needing for the future to prepare for the better career opportunities suitable to that, definitely we need to pay more attention how the technology can be used for material development. If you see the in a way the how the technology has been integrated into it, on the from the screen you can see that the from the machines up to the social media which has been integrated into education has really changed a lot. It has changed the way we teach, it has changed the way we learn a particular thing, and it has changed the way we create a kind of content which is related to a particular subject. If you see the the type of content, we can divide it into on two parameters, say, or if its effectiveness and its cost implications. So there are some kind of content which are easily available, easily creatable, and there are certain kind of content which can be expensive or a little difficult to create. And similarly about its effectiveness, some kind of content have lower effectiveness, some have quite higher effectiveness. So you can see that, say if you see the audio bytes or say status updates, its effectiveness is a little lower, the news items or the case studies. But if you see the value of, say, like white papers, which are particularly if they are industry white papers, then they are quite much in demand, means because they are quite effective. They let us know what kind of say a trend is happening, or on a particular aspect the content is focused for that. If you see the type of content, we can divide them content into various types. Like we have the textual content, video content, audio visual, which is in a way a particular movie format, or animations, simulations, and infographics. There are a lot of varieties into it. We all know about textual content, but if we have to develop a material for text, then we you can have it in various forms, like what, which deals with, say, what is photosynthesis. So these are mostly explanatory kind of content. Then how to, say for example, how to burn a video into a DVD, or how to record your windows, or how to do a particular thing which is more focused on a particular skill. And why means pertaining to intellectual development, some certain sort of an intellectual convergence of an idea. So the content can, when we need to develop a particular content, we need to focus onto it, that what is our purpose. Are we going to deal with certain sort of an explanatory kind of content? Then we go with ahead with, say, what is, for example, what is a volcano. So it will explain it that way. What is a river? What is difference between a pond and a river and an ocean? Something like that. How to do a particular thing. Say how to make a PowerPoint PPT, and why. say why a particular thing happens in a particular way. So that format. Audio content, we all know about recording audio or as a podcast, and we need to see that when we want to create audio, the environment should be calm, no external noise of any kind. Say for example, sometimes the air con, it creates noise, so the room should be silent, and you can have a good variety of microphone to record the audio, and this way you record the. For video also same thing. Particularly we need to see the mid shot is better, proper lighting arrangement in the room, and that way. Infographics is very interesting here. It is nowadays being used for in providing information. You can see there is an infographic image here on photosynthesis and how we can represent text plus figures, the data, and it is a very good resource for projecting a particular thing. Say sometimes if we want to say a chronology of events, then infographic is very good. Or if we want to present data in a visually appealing way, then this is very good. Animations and simulations, they are very useful for scientific or those fields in which some experiment is to be shown or some action is to be projected there. So that way the animation or the simulations, they are developed, and there are various softwares available which are both open source or free or commercial software which allow us to create animations or simulation. The important thing about creating any multimedia sort of thing is that to be ready with a script and a storyboard. The script tells us that what content would go into it, and the storyboard tells us that the step by step what the viewer or the listener would listen and they will watch over there. So this is very important on how to create a textual content or a multimedia content. When we deal with educational material content, say for example, we all are teacher and we have to create courses for our students. So there are few things which we need to be of very sure. First of all, pay attention to our learning outcomes. What the learner would be able to achieve after the student or the learner undergoes through that material. That is very important. And nowadays, particularly when we have the revised Bloom's taxonomy, in which the focus is more on how we can lead to the stage of creating something. Like, for example, the Web 2 stage is called as the read and write web. So we have Web 3, Web 4, the advances are there, but are we able to create something or what we are able to do after that? So that learning outcome is very important. Then design considerations based on the learner learning styles or what is available to us, the kind of interactivities it will go into it, is if there is any special need. So design consideration becomes very important. How the content will be laid out, say if it is print based on a paper, or if it is a multimedia sort of thing, say in a video or an audio, then its design, easy navigation, visually appealing, proper color combination, like that. These are various important things which we need to take into consideration. We need to take a stock of what kind of tools and resources are available to us for creating that material. If we are creating text-based material, then or what kind of text, say as I told you, if it is what or how to or why to kind of material is development, then the kind of background information you need to compile, we are taking it from what source, and the kind of interactivity we are putting into it. Say for example, self-check exercises, so that the learner is able to keep on checking what is their progress, and then it leads to a certain sort of self-assessment. That is very important. And then at a particular stage, say we have a text content somewhere and we need certain supplementary or additional material in the form of audio or video at that particular moment. So the kind of integration goes into it, and how the student would be interacting with the content, so that it feels that someone is, it is didactic in nature, someone is talking to the learner that way. So these are some of the important decisions which we need to make when we create material. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.